say that. Actually. So, go ahead, Gwendolyn.
Well, again, my name is Gwendolyn Reese, and I am the grants director and fundraising strategist with SafePC. I've been in this field of work until my age over 2 years. Over 10 years plus. I'm ex-military. So coming from that side of government, working with nonprofits, working with businesses, and then being in the grants hemisphere, it's definitely been a role we've had. Mike made a lot of great points when it comes to grants and funding. I want to point out three important ones just to bring everything together. And that is collaboration, that's the grants management process, and then there's fundraising, accessing it directly. And so with that, with the collaboration, that's by touching and coming together with businesses such as Fortinet, with our resources, with organizations, other organizations like organizations that we work with, and coming together instead of being on an island by ourselves, especially when we are trying to tackle grants funding, especially in the government sector, which I've worked extensively with in the last 6 years. Sometimes government grants fail, like doing housing dissertations over and over again. But the big thing that I want you all to take from this is if you have already started to build a process, even with a small capacity at your organizations and institutions, then you at least have some leeway to help you go after these grants that are very competitive. And a lot of the times with this funding, like I said, we may have a June 30th deadline. We don't spend it, it goes back into the black hole, wherever that is, and it's going to get spent elsewhere. That's what's happening with a lot of these relief funds. One thing that the pandemic showed us is that there were a lot of problems and concerns that we needed to address across the border, and that during this time, during the pandemic, we could tackle a lot of those things with funds that they put out there. That now, because everyone thinks that we're getting back to normal, they're doing away. So they have put these funds out there, and they said, hey, these funds were out there to, while the pandemic was going on, and afterward they helped catch up on a lot of things and to solve a lot of those issues, especially with a lot of state funding. They were looking at building coalitions because they didn't want to tackle all of these problems alone. So they wanted us and our institutions, connect with some nonprofits, connect with some businesses, come together. Let's solve these problems. I'm gonna give you all a lot of money, and I want to see the impact. So that's where we're at now with the HER funding and all of these American Rescue Funds that are now flowing now. Now, I say all that to say, with the list that we just seen with the deadlines, in my world, deadlines come and they go. When I tell you, they come and they go. I mean, really, that's a lot of my time management of looking at different portfolios, working with different CEOs of organizations to say, okay, hey, we built this portfolio, we got this deadline coming up, this deadline over there. And a lot of times, for me, for someone who has worked from being a grant writer all the way up to a grant management consultant, is structure. Yeah. Helping that organization build a structure so that they have capacity to be awarded these grants. And a lot of times, that is what knocks the institutions and organizations out of the running for these grants, because when they look at how you're structured, how you're able to be able to manage these grants, the programs, they don't see it. And that's one thing you might say in the context of building a master proposal and a narrative that is very strong I always tell my companies, don't reinvent the wheel. Start out and looking at the areas and the programs that you have. You look at the grant, you look at that overview, and to see what places that you can pluck out. So, come just right there, just stay right there, right towards just that. And to go after it, aggressively. Like, writing one grant is not going to do it.
So a lot of companies have a few customers and schools that's interested in grant writing services. It is a service, it takes a lot of time. Is there a cost associated with that?
Yes, of course.
Yes,
we do.
It's not just a range. So
Yes, it is. I see everything broken down, and it's all there because it's not real. But it's broken down based upon what you need, and a lot of organizations, like I get calls every week from specific organizations that want me specifically just to work for them because it is a full-time job. And so a lot of the time when I talk about collaboration, it's building a team from your organization, working with my team, and to be able to build the things that you need to have a master, drawn out portfolio to be able to just go. So that you hit those deadlines. And a lot of times, in my experience, just by plugging in so many grants, they come all together. Like, they're being awarded. Like, it's like, I can look at some of those days and I can kind of just look at just the trend of how they're being awarded. March, I'm going to tell you right now, you probably hear from them probably by June 30th, because guess what? July 1st, they're going to be ready to go. Hit the account, and they want to see those programs ready to start. They want to see your pre-planning, everything you broke out.
We're sending it. We are sending the grant stuff out to you.
Okay. So the portion that you need to ask was, you said that an organization should be writing grants all the time to show that they are, progressing in it. Does that mean our particular organization, like our IT department, or our campus overall?
Both.
Yeah.
So with that, usually when I talk about strategy plan, especially when you talk about fundraising and grants, it's usually when you sit down with the organization as a whole, or where they have an administrative lead, that CEO, VP of development, or whoever, who's able to sit down if you all don't have a team, or come together with those different departments to decide on where you need the funding for what's out there, and to where you can, go after those pots of money for those different departments and programs. So I always say when I talk about collaboration, I feel so strongly about collaboration internally and externally.
The other thing I want to point out is that every organization needs IT. So when they pursue a grant, Sonia, your team should be in that budget. And a lot of times, but unfortunately, a lot of times you're not. And that's what takes me to California. Is I'm working with an organization where we actually re-strategize what IT is in every budget. It's a community college, it's a nonprofit. It is a collaboration. It is a true collaboration. And before I was there, IT was an afterthought. And I said, that's why you're not getting what you need, because IT is not appropriately budgeted within your overall strategy. So you have to put that into every division within Alabama that you all need to be, because you all keep everything up and running and operational and everything. So you all should be a part of every decision, every area, because if you're not there, you all struggle, because they're giving you so much to do, and you all don't have enough budget and resources to do what you all need to do.
Right, and I totally agree. I think that's why we have pivoted some, and we we as a technology department have started going after grants as a technology department and then pulling in other departments to collaborate because we understand that as you're progressing on, technology is getting more expensive and the general fund is not going to be able to handle it. So now we understand that to better build our infrastructure and our technology overall, we're going to have to seek grants to cover what general fund can't cover. So I think that, so you're definitely right, and we've kind of pivoted to now we are grant writers.
Well, that's why I'm giving you all this challenge. I think you all have the content you need. It's just a matter of me and Gwendolyn pulling it all together. Then I'll go over there to Jenny and the team and say, hey, does this make sense? Review the cost here, turn over Corey, did we include everything? And then we look up and March 1st, we're there.
Right.
So that's what she also means by collaboration. You know, I've been talking to so many schools, there's so many different vendors in there, they're doing different things. No app, nothing's talking to each other, nothing's doing this, nothing. There's no collaboration. And then the vendor, the sales guys in there, oh, well, you know, just buy some more license, buy some more. I'm like, why do you need all this? Like, well, he said we need to buy some more. And I'm like, well, I know you gotta make a sale go, but at the same time, I'm looking at distribution at a higher level, like, and then guess what? They don't have the budget. Oh, well, this is what we need, you know, so.
Yeah, it's funny that she said that, you know, I mean, truly, when you talk to a lot of institutional organizations, they're sometimes struggling to figure out how to use a little bit of money that they have, not understanding that there's, you know, a bigger picture to this thing, especially when it comes to technology. And one thing was, you said there was $900 billion, that's just for this time. In October, they upgraded the bipartisan infrastructure. It's $1.2 trillion over 10 years that has to be spent in technology alone. So,
You might want to say that again. What was that?
$1.2 trillion in technology alone that has to be spent over 10 years. And that's when I tell you, when they start saying, and like I said, take what a grain of salt, oh, the money's, you know, running out and we're running up. You know what they're doing? They're moving stuff. They're saying, okay, what do we have left? Who's giving money back? And I always used to tell my students, oh, we don't give money back. Oh, well, we used to. When it's audit time, you know what my budget says? 0, 0, 0. Because we've used every penny that we were opening. And that's the way that you have to look at this funding. 1.2 trillion is a lot of money. And a lot of people will say, hey, you know, we need money for this. It's out there. You have to be aggressive and put yourself in a position to go after that funding. And once you have plugged into these things, I tell you, it will be like a rolling machine. I have seen it happen. I have seen it done, built from nothing. I have seen it in expansion, everything, especially when it comes to technology. I had one CEO, she said, man, you help me keep the lights on. And what that means is that the grants and the funding that I was bringing in to support the organization, although they had a big, you know, wad of revenue that was coming in from other things, guess what? When those things slow down, those grants is what helped keep staff paid. Had one particular grant that paid 15 staff members at 50% of their salary that the organization did not have to come out of their pocket with to keep these people employed. And so when you look at that and you look at the funding that's out there, you have to look at those departments like the IT department that are doing everything from data-driven programs to software to training to all these things in these different programs. That's what whoever sets the budget, which that was my responsibility, and a lot of my positions as a grants director when you're doing these grants, to sit down and to map out a budget that covered everything from the programmatic side of things to the administrative side of things. And a lot of these federal grants are consistent in 3 and 5 year increments, which means you don't just get a grant one time, which a lot of the philanthropy grants, they work like that, you know? You get 500,000, don't come back anymore, because you're not getting more, that's all you get. But with a lot of the federal money, then you can look at it consistently and say, hey, we're not just getting $1 billion 1 year, we're getting it consecutively for 3 years, and in 3 years you can apply again if it's back over. So therefore, you can not only build a relationship, because now we can go and look back at your reporting and see how you have impacted the people and what you've used the funds for, if you've managed it correctly, and what problem have you solved. If you were able to help over so many, disadvantaged students that may be in a rural area going to college, what more can you do if we give you some more money? So you just have to, be open-minded and not afraid of tackling that funding, but again, what are resources that we've given you today, and to let you know to build those partnerships, and let's build this relationship, and let's go out there and to get this money for our institutions. That's not too simple.
Back to what Gwendolyn was saying about, sometimes salespeople don't look at the whole picture of our customers and our IT departments. They don't see that they are trying to solve problems. So it helps to be in forums like this for salespeople to be in these types of forums as well, so we can better help our customers not to just sell them a license. Because another license is not what they need.
Right. Some of my best, meetings were with salespeople in different organizations. So not only did they understand when they went out there to market the products and services for that organization and what they were looking at, the relationship, but then they understood how it entailed everybody within that organization and who needed what, So a lot of times, and like when they said, even how we met, we had to understand that organization, like, wait a minute, we need some more training in the IT field, for our staff members. And let's look at how we can, not only get this for our clients, but to be able to bring our staff members in and see how this training could, help them and help us expand in what we were doing. And therefore, yes, find a grant to definitely help pay for those things. To pay for those additional trainings and those things that we need to build our infrastructure. So, definitely, that's what we should be.
And the other thing, we want to extend both to Fortinet and Microsoft, any of our partners and clients. If you need our assistance with the grants or the overall picture, we want to be able to help you all the way you all are helping me. So again, it's all about collaboration, but we definitely want to work with the sales teams, because again, if we can help educate them on the big picture, and as Gwendolyn was saying, we need to make sure we go and get all of the money. Because I would rather the IT department have more than not have none. Because you all know, if they're going to really try to go to this security roadmap, get to the end, they're going to need everything. And a lot of these grants now, particularly in the research, they want you to have a separate, secure network. They don't want it to be on the network where the students and the faculty, where the online training is going in. They want a separate, secure network. And you got a budget for that. And NIH is giving you money for that. And I was talking to one school and said, we have really budgeted to look at that. I said, but if you grant through the grant, if you don't have a secure network, they may pull the grant, or you may not even get the grant. They may give you the money and say, well, wait a minute, you're not. And the last thing, and Gwendolyn sees this a lot, they've given money to these organizations, but when they didn't pick components, they never get the grant money again.
No.
So that's the other thing we've also